Welcome back. You're here with Crystal Tottenham here from Crystal Clear Coaching. We are now on the 23rd of January. And yep, my habit of showing up here daily is popping off still. I have been collecting rings. So where I work is we have dangerously good, super cheap deals on sterling silver rings with crystals involved, and of course that's gonna get me. So I found myself juggling rings, stacking rings on fingers, and they just keep moving around and I can't keep track. The reason I mention this is because yesterday I went to a singing group in the morning, and it was in this beautiful park that just had the most amazing bird song around, and just light filtering through the trees. And there was a few beautiful big trees, but one in particular had the most in-depth bark. Just there was so much muchness to it, just so much artistry went into that tree growing itself, and I was appreciating that, and I went to take a photo of it, and it would look kind of magical behind it. I'm just gonna put it on the gram to make everyone think, oh, what magical forest is Crystal in today? Anyway, just on a whim, at the end, I just thought, what if I put my hand out, it's on the tree, and I put my hand out, and my musical rings had managed to have these two on this finger. And it was only those two sitting there. And that is your wedding finger. And, regular people speak. I'm not really one to care about that too much. But, yeah, anyway, I honestly was not even thinking about it, and just happened to take a photo of my hand at that point. And then, of course, people see that and they think, oh, what's going on there? But, I mean, it's two rings. And not very expensive looking rings. So, I think it's pretty clear that it's not anything. Anyway, I don't think anyone truly thought it was something, but I had a comment from a friend, and I just thought, I was just trying to show a little magical hand about to enter the fairy realm. Come on. Anyway, if my friend happens to be watching, love you. And even if she's not, still sending her love. But yeah, anyway, I just tell that story because you never know what small things people are just making meaning of. They won't even communicate to you. This friend did communicate it to me, but you just don't know. Those small moments, those small things. Honestly, I try not to put rings on this finger for that reason, but it just so happens that some of my coolest rings fit in only on the ring fingers properly. If I put them on other fingers, it's kind of got to be a bit arty and a bit up and around. So I just kind of learnt to embrace where I feel like putting them that day, but also count my rings, because I definitely have lost one since suddenly having silver knuckles. Anyway, fun times. But yeah, you just never know what small things someone is making a meaning of. They're making a huge meaning that could affect your life. And I mean, that's one that I think we all frequently do. If you're out, you're single, you want someone to know you're single, you kind of want to keep this open, but maybe you don't want people to know you're single, so you sneak a little ring on there. That wasn't my reasoning for doing it. I honestly I don't care anymore. I'm full Phoebe Buffet at this point. If you remember that friend scene, I think when she gets asked to be married, she has to take a ring off, a few rings, just to get the ring on. I love that for her. Anyway, you just small things, you just don't know what other people are assuming through them. And I mean, that is a pretty common conception. If you were wearing rings on that finger, you are married, or at least engaged. So yeah, how often do we do that? And how often could we be missing, connections or going for the wrong people just because they chose not to wear the ring, or whatever other small detail you're noticing. Yeah, I don't know. I just found that fascinating. Because like in my head, I've kind of decided, oh, whatever. If I wear rings on that finger, it's just me committing to myself and my best and highest of me, myself, and I. But yeah, like that's just a little conversation you have with yourself. You don't go and announce it to the world necessarily, and then it becomes this like conversation you might not even be a part of, for other people, or at least just in other people's minds. So yeah, that's noting that. But yeah, like in what small ways are you maybe assuming small details? And if you actually like notice, like how many things are you assuming that you don't notice that you're assuming that could actually be blocking you from getting what you want in your life? There's that old talky saying of if you assume, you're making an ass out of you and me. Yeah. Nerdy, yes. But it works. Yeah. I had another day here today. Didn't know exactly what I was going to talk about when I came on. And this is what's come out. But yeah, there are so many nuances. Like I have talked into this before. So many nuances in our own perspective. And you can think that someone you know really well, that you see every day, that is your best mate, your family, whatever, would know all these nuances. And they might know a lot of them. But there's plenty of things that you don't speak out loud, and unless they're perceptive enough to realise that you're acting a certain way or thinking a certain way and reading it actually right, which they might read it slightly wrong. There's just no way you can know exactly someone else's perception. And the power of your life is that you get to craft your perception. If there's things in your perception you don't like, what can you do to reframe that? To empower yourself? And I'm not going to say that the external world won't come at you and have you perceive things in a certain way just from reactionary ways. But it's just noticing when you've done that. And maybe it served you up to this point, but maybe you're realizing, oh, if I could actually shift that and reframe that, that would really serve me going forward. And that's where that's the sweet spot. We want to get present as to how that past perception is now affecting our life in the present and into the future via the present. And how can we shift that for ourselves to be so that, if we shift our perspective just like 1 degree that way, then, your path is going to go off and it's going to end up in a vastly different direction. Okay, my degrees aren't that great, but anyway, it's going to end up in a vastly different direction than if you went straight ahead and just keep going down that same trajectory and then you hit a wall because you're not allowed to go past there, but maybe there's a gate. If you just veer far enough that way, you can actually go through the gate and beyond into the thing that you actually desire to have in your life that you felt blocked from. I guess I'm just feeling the short and sharp messages the past couple of days because I feel like I'm good to leave it there. But just notice those little nuances, those little assumptions. What are you assuming that's not serving you? That's the sentence right there. What are you assuming that's not serving you? How can you shift that and reframe it to serve you for your best and highest, for what you want in your life? Please go do that. Go create some magic in your own life. Remember, you are magic. Remember to be curious. not take it hard, not take it harshly. Love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Or right now if you want to go and watch one of my other videos too.